I'm standing in my Kitford, staring at my phone like it just confessed to murder. Mrs. Harlow, the banker says again, her voice tight with something between professionalism and panic, I need you to confirm, are you currently at our Palo Alto private banking center? My coffee cup is halfway to my lips. Steam curls up, and for a moment, I wonder if I'm still asleep. If this is one of those stress dreams where you show up to a pitch meeting naked. No, I say slowly. I'm home. Why? Silence. The kind that costs money. Because, she says, and I can hear her swallow, a woman identifying as Ava Harlow is here right now. With your husband. And they're attempting to transfer significant assets from your joint accounts. The cup slips. Coffee explodes across white marble like a crime scene. Hey, if you're watching this from your bed, your commute, or anywhere, you probably shouldn't be getting this invested in someone else's disaster. W. Selcom. I'm Ava. And yes, this gets worse. How significant. My voice sounds strange. Calm. Like I'm negotiating server costs, not my entire life. All of them, Mrs. Harlow. Your business accounts. The inheritance trust. Everything. My hand finds the counter. Steadies. What does she look like? The banker hesitates. I thought it was you. Same height. Same hair. She's even wearing, another pause. She's wearing diamond studs. Teardrop cut. My hand flies to my ear. Empty. I haven't worn those earrings in weeks. They've been sitting in my jewelry box because they're too formal for Zoom calls and investor meetings. Well, I hear myself say, and there's this insane laugh trying to claw its way up my throat. At least she has taste. Those are Tiffany. The banker doesn't laugh. Mrs. Harlow, I need to verify your identity immediately. Can you? Emma, I cut her off, using her first name because we've known each other for 5 years, since I first opened my accounts after the series of funding. Is my husband signing papers right now? Yes. Is he smiling? Longer pause. Yes. Something cold and sharp slides between my ribs. I married Julian Harlow 3 years ago. Met him at a tech conference in Austin. He was charming, British, devastatingly good at reading people. A consultant for startups, helping founders navigate acquisitions. He understood my world. Or I thought he did. I need you to stall them, I say. My brain is already moving, calculating. Tell them there's a system error. Tell them anything. I'm 20 minutes away. Mrs. Harlow, I should call. Don't call anyone yet. Please, Emma. 20 minutes. I hang up before she can argue. If you're already hooked, do me a favor, hit that subscribe button. Because what I'm about to do is either brilliant or completely insane, and you're going to want to see how this plays out. My hands are shaking as I grab my keys, my laptop bag, my actual earrings from the jewelry box. I'm wearing yoga pants and an old Stanford hoodie. I look nothing like the polished tech entrepreneur version of myself that probably just walked into a bank with my husband. The drive to Palo Alto is a blur of traffic lights and questions that knife through my chest. How long has he been planning this? Who is she? Did he ever love me, or was I always just a very lucrative exit strategy? I built my company from nothing. DataVeil, cybersecurity software for healthcare providers. 7 years of 16-hour days, failed pitches, maxed credit cards. My parents died when I was 23, and they left me just enough to survive, not enough to feel safe. Everything I have, I built myself. Julian knew that. He held me the night we got our first major contract. He was there when we hit 10 million in revenue. He was there when I made him co-signer on everything because I was so tired of being alone in the pressure. My phone buzzes. Text from Emma, they're getting agitated. Asking for a manager. How close are you? I'm pulling into the parking structure now. The private banking center is on the 3rd floor of a building that looks like it was designed to intimidate anyone without a 7-figure net worth. I take the stairs 2 at a time. Through the glass doors, I can see them. Emma standing behind her desk, face pale. A manager in a suit hovering nearby. And there, sitting in the leather chairs facing the desk, Julian. Wearing the Tom Ford suit I bought him for our anniversary. Looking relaxed. Confident. Next to him is a woman. My breath stops. She has my hair. The exact shade of honey brown I spend $200 maintaining every 6 weeks. Same cut, same subtle highlights. She's wearing a cream Chanel blazer I own. Her posture is perfect, shoulders back, chin lifted, the way my mother taught me before she died. But it's the earrings that make my vision blur. She's wearing my earrings. The ones that should be in my pocket right now but aren't because I grabbed the wrong pair in my panic. She tilts her head, laughing at something Julian said, and the diamonds catch the light exactly the way they do when I wear them. Where are you watching this from? Because I need you to understand, I'm looking at myself. A better version. One who clearly planned this morning. Who isn't wearing yoga pants and existential dread. I push through the door. The sound makes them turn. Julian's face does something complicated. For half a second, it's shock. Then it smooths into something worse, calculation. The woman doesn't flinch. She looks at me with my own eyes and smiles. I'm sorry, she says in a voice that's almost mine, just slightly warmer. I think there's been some confusion. I'm Ava Harlow. Emma makes a small sound. The manager steps forward. Mrs. Harlow, I'm going to need to see identification from both of you. Julian stands. Ava, he says, and he's looking at her, not me. Darling, this woman has been harassing us for weeks. I told you this might happen. He turns to the manager, his British accent doing heavy lifting. This is exactly why we're consolidating accounts. She's been stalking my wife. We have a restraining order in process. My mouth opens. No sound comes out. Because I suddenly understand something that makes every nerve in my body scream. This isn't random. This isn't amateur. This is surgical. And I walked in here completely unprepared. Should I have called the police first? Probably. Am I about to make this so much worse? Definitely. The woman who isn't me but is wearing my life reaches into a handbag, my favorite Celine bag, and pulls out a driver's license. She hands it to the manager. And I watch his face change as he reads it. This appears to be legitimate, he says quietly. Because of course it does. They didn't just steal my face. They stole my entire identity. And my husband helped them do it. Let me see that. My voice cuts through the air sharper than I intended. The manager flinches, but he hands me the license. I stare at it. California State ID. Hologram intact. My name. My birth date. An address I don't recognize in Los Gatos. And a photo of her, this woman with my face, smiling with the exact head tilt I use in professional photos. Where did you get this? I whisper. She blinks at me. Concern etched across features that mirror mine. I've had it for years. Where did you get yours? Her voice drops, sympathetic. Look, I don't know what you're going through, but identity theft is serious. Maybe we can help you. Stop. I'm shaking now. Just stop talking with my face. Julian moves closer to her. Protective. His hand finds her shoulder, and I watch his thumb stroke the fabric of that Chanel blazer, the same unconscious gesture he used to do with me during tense investor meetings. How many times did I think that meant something? Emma clears her throat. Mrs. Harlow, both of you, I think we need to pause this transaction until we can verify. Absolutely not. The imposter's voice hardens. Just slightly. We've been planning this consolidation for months. We have documentation, authorization codes, everything your institution required. If she's claiming fraud, then she needs to prove it. She turns to me. Show them your ID. I reach for my wallet. My driver's license is gone. The blood drains from my face. I had it yesterday. Used it to pick up a prescription at CVS. It was in the side pocket of my wallet, where I always keep it, and now there's just an empty leather slot mocking me. My throat closes. Someone took it. Of course they did, Julian says quietly. Almost sadly. He looks at the manager. She's been deteriorating for months. Paranoia. Delusions. We've tried to get her help, but she refuses treatment. That's not. I can't breathe right. That's not true. Julian, what are you doing? He won't look at me. Not really. His eyes slide past like I'm a stranger having a breakdown in public. Which, I realize with horrible clarity, is exactly what this looks like. No ID. Wearing yoga pants. Wild-eyed. Accusing a perfectly composed woman of stealing her identity, while that woman sits there with legitimate documentation and a concerned, patient expression. I can prove who I am, I say desperately. Emma, you know me. We've had lunch. You helped me set up the trust for my company's acquisition clause. You know my mother's maiden name. It's Cruz. Karen Cruz. She died in 2016. Car accident on Highway 101. Emma's face softens. Ava. That's information you could find online, the imposter interrupts gently. Public records. Obituaries. She sighs. I'm sorry you lost your mother. I lost mine too. But using my grief to manipulate people isn't going to help you. I actually laugh. It sounds unhinged even to me. Your mother is alive. She lives in Palm Springs. She sent us a Christmas card last year with her Pomeranian on it. Silence. Julian's jaw tightens. Got you, I think. But the imposter just nods slowly. You've clearly done research on me. That's honestly frightening. She looks at the manager. How much longer do we have to endure this? The manager shifts uncomfortably. I'm going to need to call our security team. And possibly. No. I pull out my phone. I'll prove it right now. I have emails, documents, photos. Digital evidence can be fabricated, Julian says. You know that better than anyone, Ava. You built a cybersecurity company. You've given dozens of talks about how easy it is to fake digital trails. He's using my own expertise against me. My own words from conference panels and investor pitches. The room tilts. What would you have done here? Because I'm standing in a bank, looking at someone wearing my life, and every move I make is just digging me deeper. Comment if you've ever felt like reality was gaslighting you. I want to call my lawyer, I say. Good idea, the imposter says warmly. You should definitely get legal representation. For the stalking charges. Emma's phone buzzes. She glances at it, then at me, and something in her expression shifts. Mrs. Harlow, the original Mrs. Harlow, I just received confirmation from our fraud department. There's been no unusual activity on these accounts. All access codes were entered correctly. Security questions answered. The transfer authorizations were initiated from your registered IP address. What? My voice cracks. That's impossible. I haven't logged into these accounts in weeks. I've been buried in product launch prep. 2 days ago, Emma reads from her screen. Login from your home network. Multiple transfers initiated. All requiring two-factor authentication sent to your registered phone number. The imposter pulls out a phone. My phone case. The custom one with a geometric pattern I designed. She shows me the screen. It's unlocked. My banking app is open. Recent transfers labeled Account Consolidation with timestamps from Tuesday night. Tuesday night, I was home. With Julian. We ordered Thai food and watched a documentary about the Theranos scandal. I fell asleep on the couch around 10. I woke up alone at 2 a.m. Julian said he'd gone to bed. Told me to come upstairs. But he hadn't. He'd been downstairs. With her. On my phone. Moving my money while I slept 15 feet above them. The betrayal hits so hard I have to grip the desk. You need to leave, the manager says quietly. Or I will call the police. Call them, I snap. Please. Call them right now. Because that's what innocent people say, right? That's what someone telling the truth would want. But Julian exchanges a glance with the imposter. Some silent communication that makes my stomach drop. We'd rather not press charges, he says. She's not well. This is a mental health crisis, not a criminal one. The kindness in his voice is worse than anger. It makes me sound dangerous. Unstable. Someone to pity, not believe. I back toward the door. This isn't over. I hope you get help, the imposter calls after me. I really do. I sit in my car in the parking structure for 20 minutes, shaking so hard I can't turn the key. They're still in there. Still transferring my accounts. My company's operating capital. The inheritance my parents died for me to have. And I have no ID. No proof. No credibility. My phone rings. Unknown number. I answer without thinking. Ava Harlow. A woman's voice. Professional. Clipped. Yes. This is Detective Ford with the Palo Alto Police Department. We've received a report that you've been harassing Julian and Ava Harlow. I need you to come down to the station to answer some questions. I close my eyes. They filed first. Got ahead of the narrative. Made me the villain before I could even call for help. I'll be there in 30 minutes, I say. Make it 20. She hangs up. I sit there, staring at my steering wheel, and realize I have one advantage they don't know about. I'm not the kind of person who built a multimillion-dollar company by playing fair when the game is rigged. I'm the kind who burns the game down and builds a new one. But first, I need help. And I know exactly who to call. People Julian has never met, never knew existed, never planned for. My real friends. The ones from before the money. Before the Silicon Valley polish. Before I became someone worth stealing. I pull out my phone and text 3 people. Riley, you busy? Need a hacker who doesn't ask questions. Phoenix, remember when you said you missed the old days? I have a job. Might be illegal. Max, bringing the dog. If anyone tries to stop me, I need something with teeth. 3 dots appear immediately under Riley's name. Then, say less. Where? I smile for the first time since that phone call shattered my morning. They want to play identity theft? Fine. But they just stole from someone who knows every digital footprint they're leaving. Every security camera they passed. Every financial trail they think they've covered. I built my career on finding vulnerabilities. And my husband just became the biggest security flaw in his own plan. I start the car. 20 minutes to the police station. But first, I'm making one stop. Because if they have my driver's license, they probably have more. And I need to know exactly how deep this goes before I walk into an interrogation room where everyone already thinks I'm crazy. The detective is going to ask me questions. I'm going to give her answers. Just not the ones she's expecting. The police station smells like burnt coffee and broken promises. Detective Ford is younger than I expected. Mid-30s, sharp eyes, and a wedding ring that catches the fluorescent light as she gestures to the metal chair across from her desk. Thank you for coming in, Ms. Harlow. Not Mrs. Interesting. Did I have a choice? I ask, sitting down. Everyone has choices. She opens a folder. Your husband and his wife filed a harassment report 2 hours ago. They also obtained a temporary restraining order. You're to stay at least 100 yards away from both of them. His wife, I repeat slowly. You mean the woman pretending to be me? I mean Ava Harlow. Born March 14, 1989. Founder of Datavale Security. Married to Julian Harlow in 2021. She slides a paper across the desk. That's the marriage certificate. Filed in San Francisco County. I stare at it. The names are right. The date is right. Even the venue, the boutique hotel in Napa where we actually got married. But the signatures are wrong. Mine is close. Very close. But I always loop the in Ava counterclockwise. This one goes clockwise. That's not my signature, I say. Do you have documentation proving otherwise? I don't. Our marriage certificate is in a safety deposit box. At the bank. Where I can't access it because my accounts are frozen and I have no ID. The trap closes tighter. Detective, I need you to listen to me. I am Ava Harlow. That woman is an imposter. My husband is part of a fraud scheme. Your husband. Ford leans back. Julian Harlow. Who you claim to be married to. I am married to him. Then why does our background check show that Julian Harlow has been married to the other Ava Harlow for 3 years, while you've been living alone in a rental property in Mountain View with no marital records on file? The words don't make sense. They slide around in my head like water. I don't live in Mountain View. I live in Los Altos. With Julian. We bought the house 2 years ago. Renovated the kit Ford. There's a crack in the bedroom ceiling from the earthquake last year that we keep meaning to fix. The address you're describing belongs to Julian and Ava Harlow. Purchased in 2022. Titled solely in their names. Ford's voice isn't unkind. Just tired. Ms. Harlow, when was the last time you took your medication? I'm not on medication. Your husband mentioned you've been resistant to treatment. Paranoid delusions. Identity confusion. I laugh. It echoes off the concrete walls. He's good. I'll give him that. Who is? Julian. He's been planning this for months, hasn't he? Creating a paper trail. Documenting my supposed deterioration. Making sure that when I finally figured out what he was doing, no one would believe me. Ford studies me. What if I told you we already ran your fingerprints? My heart stops. From the coffee cup you're holding. Standard procedure. She opens another file. They don't match any Ava Harlow in our system. But they do match someone else. A woman named Claire Novak. Last known address, Seattle, Washington. Multiple arrests for check fraud between 2014 and 2017. The room spins. That's not. I've never been to Seattle. I've never been arrested. My name is. According to this, Ford taps the paper. Claire Novak disappeared from Seattle in 2018. No employment records. No digital footprint. Until 3 months ago, when she started renting an apartment in Mountain View under a stolen identity. 3 months ago. That's when Julian started working late. When he said he had a new client. A startup in stealth mode that needed consulting. When he started coming home smelling like perfume I didn't recognize. He set me up, I whisper. Or, Ford says carefully, you're experiencing a dissociative episode and genuinely believe you're someone you're not. It happens more than you'd think. Especially with high-stress careers. Tech industry burnout. Did you see this coming? Because I didn't. Drop a comment if you've ever had your entire reality questioned by someone with a badge and evidence you can't explain. I need to make a phone call. You're not under arrest. You can make as many calls as you want. Ford stands. But Ms. Novak, or whatever you'd like me to call you, I strongly suggest you seek psychiatric evaluation. Because right now, you're one incident away from criminal charges. She leaves me in the room. Alone with a fingerprint report that says I'm someone I've never been. I pull out my phone. Riley's replied. Meet me at the old arcade. 1 hour. Bringing toys. Phoenix, already digging. Found something weird about your house title. Tell you in person. And Max, dog says you're not crazy. I trust the dog. I almost cry. The arcade is in San Jose. A relic from the 90s that somehow survived gentrification by becoming ironically hip. Riley's already there, hunched in the back corner booth, laptop open, surrounded by empty energy drink cans. They look up when I slide in. Purple hair. Socks with cartoon tacos. The same person who helped me debug my first major code disaster at 3 a.m. in a college dorm room a decade ago. You look like hell, Riley says. They fingerprinted me. Said I'm someone named Claire Novak. A con artist from Seattle. Riley's fingers stop moving. That's actually impressive. What? They didn't just steal your identity. They replaced it. In the system. Riley spins the laptop around. Look. I pulled your digital footprint. Social security number, credit history, employment records, everything before 3 months ago is clean. Everything after is split. The screen shows 2 timelines. Both labeled Ava Harlow. Both equally legitimate. How is that possible? Money. Really good money. And someone with access to government databases. Riley zooms in on a data point. But they made mistakes. Small ones. Like, this address change from 3 months ago? It was filed from an IP address in Los Angeles. Not here. And the signature on the form doesn't match either version of Ava Harlow we have on file. Los Angeles, I repeat. Yeah. Near LAX. Which is weird, right? Why would someone changing a Northern California address file from LA? Unless they were coordinating with someone. Meeting in person. Somewhere neutral. Phoenix arrives then, all controlled energy and yoga pants. She used to do stunts for Marvel movies before a knee injury made her retire. Now she teaches hot yoga and occasionally helps friends with situations. She slides into the booth. Your house? The one you think you own? It's titled to Julian and Ava Harlow, but the purchase was financed through a shell corporation based in the Cayman Islands. Which is weird for a domestic property. Why? Because it means someone's hiding money, laundering it, or setting up an exit strategy. Phoenix pulls out her phone. I called my buddy who works in private investigation. He said there's been a spike in these cases. Wealthy spouses getting cleaned out by elaborate fraud rings. They target people in tech, finance, entertainment, anyone with liquid assets and complicated financial portfolios. Riley nods. And the scary part? Most victims never recover. By the time they figure out what happened, the money's gone. Transferred through so many shell accounts, it's untraceable. I think about the imposter. How perfect she looked. How prepared. They've done this before, I say quietly. Definitely. Phoenix leans closer. But here's the thing, if they've done it before, there's a pattern. A method. Which means there's a way to track it. And a way to stop it, Riley adds. The door chimes. Max walks in, 6 feet of protective golden retriever energy, followed by an actual golden retriever named Atlas who immediately puts his head in my lap. He missed you, Max says, sliding into the booth. The dog whines, pressing against me. Also, I brought something. He drops a USB drive on the table. What's this? Your nanny cam footage. From the house. I stare at him. We don't have nanny cams. You do now. I installed them last month when Julian hired that cleaning service without asking you. Remember? You complained about strangers in your space. I'd forgotten. Max had been paranoid about it. Said something felt off. He'd been right. Riley plugs the drive into the laptop. When's it from? Last 2 weeks. Kitford, living room, front entry. The footage loads. And there she is. The imposter. In my house. Tuesday night. Walking through my Kitford like she owns it. Julian behind her, hand on her waist. They're laughing. The timestamp says 1:47 a.m. While I was asleep upstairs. She's been in your house, Phoenix breathes. Multiple times. Riley fast forwards. More footage. Different nights. The imposter trying on my clothes. Practicing my signature. Taking photos of documents. Julian coaching her, pointing at things, correcting her posture. They've been rehearsing. Building a perfect copy. And then the footage shows something that makes my blood freeze. Another person. A man I don't recognize. Expensive suit. He's handing Julian an envelope. They're talking in low voices. The angle's wrong to see faces clearly, but Riley enhances the image. The man has a scar above his left eyebrow. Do you know him? Phoenix asks. I shake my head. But Riley's already running facial recognition. Give me a second, okay? Wow. This is not good. What? This guy? His name is Victor Kane. He's been investigated by the FBI 3 times for fraud. Never convicted. He specializes in what they call replacement schemes. Find wealthy targets. Create perfect doppelgangers. Replace the victim so seamlessly that by the time anyone notices, the money's gone and the victim has no legal standing. He's done this before, I say numbly. At least 7 times that made news. Probably more that didn't. Riley looks at me. Ava, if Kane's involved, this is way bigger than Julian stealing from you. This is organized crime. The arcade sounds, digital music, laughter, the clink of tokens, fade into static. I've been thinking about this as personal betrayal. A marriage gone wrong. But it's not personal. I'm not special. I'm just the next mark. We need to go to the FBI, Phoenix says. With what? I counter. Fingerprints that say I'm Claire Novak? A detective who thinks I'm delusional? The FBI will laugh me out of the building. Then what do we do? I look at the screen. At the imposter wearing my life. At Julian touching her the way he used to touch me. At Victor Kane handing over money like this is just business. And I realize something. They think they've won. Think I'm either in custody or running scared. They don't know about Riley. About Phoenix. About Max and his paranoid security instincts. They don't know I have footage. We beat them at their own game, I say. How? By making them think they've already won. Let them finish the transfer. Let them think I'm the crazy ex-wife with no credibility. I meet Riley's eyes. And while they're celebrating, we trace every dollar. Find every account. Map the entire operation. And then Max asks. Then we burn it down. All of it. Kane's network. Julian's new life. Every shell corporation and fake identity. Phoenix grins. Dangerous. I like this plan. There's one problem, Riley says. If we're going after Kane, we need leverage. Something he wants more than money. Like what? Riley pulls up another file. According to FBI reports, Kane's been trying to crack high-level tech security for years. Banking software. Financial platforms. He's looking for a way to scale his operation. Hit multiple targets simultaneously. Data Veil. My company. The encryption software protecting half the healthcare industry's financial data. He wants my source code, I whisper. Probably. That's likely why Julian targeted you specifically. A horrible thought occurs to me. When do they finish the transfers? Riley checks. According to the bank schedule you showed me, tomorrow. 3 p.m. That's when the consolidation finalizes and the accounts become fully accessible. 24 hours. I look at my friends. At the dog pressing against my leg like he knows I need the weight of something real. Can you track their movements? Already on it. Riley's fingers fly. Facial recognition on every camera in Palo Alto. Phone tracking if we can clone their signals. Street cameras, ATMs, security feeds. Phoenix, can you follow them? Physical surveillance. Like the old days. She stretches. I've been bored anyway. Max. I'm on you, he says. Wherever you go, I go. With Atlas. The dog wags his tail. I take a breath. Julian thinks I'm broken. That I'll either run or fall apart. You're going to do neither, Phoenix says. No. I smile. It feels strange on my face. I'm going to walk right up to him. Tomorrow. Before the transfer completes. Are you insane? Riley asks. Maybe. But I need him to think I'm desperate. Ready to sign anything to make this go away. Because when someone thinks they've won completely, they get sloppy, Phoenix finishes. Exactly. Riley saves the footage to 3 different encrypted drives. This is dangerous, Ava. Kane doesn't leave witnesses. I'm not going to be a witness. I stand. Atlas follows, a warm shadow. I'm going to be the glitch in their perfect system. And if it doesn't work? I think about my parents. About building Data Veil from nothing. About every time someone underestimated me because I was young, female, idealistic. Then they'll know I didn't go down without a fight. That night, I sleep at Max's apartment. Can't go home. Technically, it's not my home anymore. The restraining order makes sure of that. I lie on his couch, Atlas curled at my feet, and think about Julian. The way he looked at her. Protected her. Believed in her performance completely. Or maybe he didn't. Maybe he looked at her and saw dollar signs. An exit strategy. A way to finally cash in on the tech wife he'd been pretending to love for 3 years. My phone buzzes. Unknown number. I almost don't answer. But something makes me. Hello. Silence. Then breathing. Ava. A man's voice. Smooth. Controlled. My name is Victor Kane. I believe your husband has been stealing from you. My heart stops. I'd like to help you get it back. The line goes dead. I sit up, pulse hammering. He called me Ava. Not Claire Novak. Not the wrong name. Ava. Which means Kane knows exactly who I am. And he just made the first move in a game I didn't know we were playing. Atlas growls. Low. Protective. Yeah, I whisper. I don't like it either. I text Riley. Kane just called me. He knows everything. 3 dots. Then, so the trap isn't for Julian. It's for you. I stare at the message. And realize we've been wrong about all of it. Julian isn't the mastermind. He's bait. And I'm the real target. I don't sleep. By 6 a.m., I'm in Riley's apartment watching the map Kane's known associates on a digital whiteboard. Phoenix is doing yoga in the corner, her way of preparing for violence. Max is hand-feeding Atlas pieces of bacon while scrolling through security footage. There. Riley points. Kane's been photographed with this woman 3 times in the last year. Always in different cities. She matches the general description of your imposter, but the facial structure is slightly different each time. Plastic surgery? Phoenix asks, not breaking her warrior pose. Or multiple women. Riley zooms in. Same height, same build, but different features. He's got a whole roster. Professional identity thieves, I say. He finds people who can be molded. Teaches them to become whoever he needs. My phone buzzes. Text from an unknown number. Meet me at the Los Altos house. 2 p.m. Come alone. I'll explain everything. Julian. I show it to the group. Trap, Phoenix says immediately. Obviously. But my hands are shaking. Because despite everything, despite the footage, the evidence, the impossible fingerprints, part of me still wants Julian to have an explanation. To say he was forced. Blackmailed. Anything that makes this hurt less. Don't go, Max says. Atlas whines in agreement. I have to. The transfer completes at 3 p.m. This is my last chance to stop it. Not alone, Riley insists. He said alone. Then we'll be close. Invisible. But there. Phoenix stands. I've done protection work before. We can set up a perimeter without them knowing. I look at my house address on the screen. The place I thought was mine. Where I planted tomatoes in the backyard and argued with Julian about paint colors and made love on the Kitford counter at midnight because we were young and stupid and in love. Or I was. Okay, I say. But I need something from you first, Riley. Name it. Can you access Datavale's source code remotely? Create a fake version that looks real but is actually garbage. Riley grins. You want to give Kane exactly what he's after. Except it's poison. If he wants my company's encryption software, I'll hand it to him on a silver platter. And when he tries to use it, it'll brick every system he touches. That's beautiful, Phoenix says. Vicious, but beautiful. At 1:45 p.m., I'm parked outside my house. Their house. Whatever it is now. Phoenix is 3 houses down in a rental car. Max is around the corner with Atlas. Riley's in a van half a mile away, tapped into every camera and phone signal in a 2-block radius. My phone rings. Riley. You don't have to do this. Yeah, I do. Ava. Their voice softens. Whatever happens in there, remember who you are. Not who they say you are. I hang up before I lose my nerve. The front door is unlocked. I step inside and the smell hits me first. Her perfume. Expensive. Floral. Nothing like what I wear. The imposter has been here, so often she's marked the territory. Julian. My voice echoes. In the living room. I walk through my own house like a stranger. The photos on the wall have been changed. Me and Julian in Napa, replaced with her and Julian in the same location. Same poses. Different face. They even recreated our memories. Julian standing by the window. Still wearing that Tom Ford suit. He doesn't turn when I enter. You came, he says. You asked. I wasn't sure you would. After everything. I laugh. Sharp. After you tried to steal my entire life? Yeah, I almost didn't. He finally faces me. And for the first time since the bank, he looks tired. The polish is cracked. There are shadows under his eyes. I need you to understand something, he says. This was never personal. You married me. How is that not personal? I married an opportunity. A brilliant woman with a company worth millions and security protocols I needed to access. He says it like he's discussing a business deal. Victor Kane approached me 4 years ago. Offered me more money than I'd ever seen to get close to someone in tech security. To map their routines. Their vulnerabilities. The room tilts. 4 years. Before we met. Before I arranged to meet you. That conference in Austin? I paid the organizer to make sure we were seated together at the opening dinner. Every memory rewrites itself. The charming British consultant. The way he understood my work. The way he made me feel seen. None of it was real. Why are you telling me this? My voice cracks. Because Victor says I have to. Julian finally shows emotion, fear. He says if I don't bring him the Betrayal source code by 3 p.m. today, he'll kill me. And her. Her. The imposter. Laura. He swallows. Her name is Laura. And she's pregnant. The world stops. You're telling me, I say slowly, that while you were married to me, you got another woman pregnant? I love her, Ava. I didn't plan to. But she's not like you, she's not cold and calculating. She doesn't put work before everything. She actually needs me. The words hit like acid. Did you see this coming? That he'd try to make me the villain in my own betrayal? Comment if you've ever had someone rewrite your entire relationship to justify their cruelty. You think I'm cold, I repeat. Because I built a company? Because I worked hard. You built a fortress. His voice rises. Everything was about Betrayal. Investors, launches, pitches. I was an accessory. A +1 at events. You never actually needed me. So you decided to destroy me. I decided to survive. Victor doesn't accept failure. If I don't give him that source code, Laura and the baby are dead. Maybe me too. I should feel triumph. This confession is everything I need. Riley's recording every word. But instead, I feel something crack inside my chest. Because he's right about one thing, I did choose work over him. Over us. I missed dinners for funding calls. Cancelled anniversaries for product launches. Fell asleep talking about encryption algorithms instead of asking about his day. I built Betrayal into something extraordinary. And lost my marriage somewhere in the code. Where's Laura now? I ask quietly. Upstairs. Resting. She doesn't know I'm telling you this. And Kane. He'll be here at 3 p.m. to collect. I pull out a USB drive. The one Riley prepared. This is it. The source code. Everything Kane wants. Julian stares at it. Why would you give it to me? Because despite everything, I don't want you dead. The truth of it surprises me. I want you in prison for fraud. But not dead. He takes the drive with shaking hands. I'm sorry. For what it's worth. It's not worth much. Footsteps on the stairs. Laura appears, the imposter, except now she has a name. She's wearing my silk robe. Her hand rests on her stomach, protective. She sees me and freezes. What is she doing here? Her voice is different now. Scared. Younger. It's fine, Julian says. She's giving us what we need. Laura looks at me with something like pity. He told you, didn't he? About us. Yeah. I'm sorry. And she sounds like she means it. I know what it's like to have your life stolen. Victor did it to me first. Before I became this. What were you before? A graduate student. Art history. I had a normal life. Then I had the wrong face at the wrong time, and Victor made me an offer I couldn't refuse. She touches her stomach again. This baby is my way out. Julian promised when this is done, we disappear. Start over. I look at them, this couple built on my destruction, and realize they're victims too. Just victims who chose to victimize me to save themselves. Kane's going to kill you anyway, I say. You know that, right? Once he has the source code, your witnesses. Liabilities. We have a plan, Julian says. but his voice wavers. No. You have hope. There's a difference. The doorbell rings. We all freeze. It's only 2:30 p.m. Kane is early. Laura goes pale. He said 3 p.m. Why is he? Because he knows something's wrong. I back toward the window. He always knows. Julian opens the door. Victor Kane walks in like he owns the place. And the man behind him, the man I don't recognize until he turns and I see his face clearly. Detective Ford. My legs go weak. Hello, Ava, Kane says. Then looks at Laura. And Ava. This is cozy. Ford's not in uniform. She's in an expensive suit. A Rolex on her wrist. You're not a cop, I whisper. I am. She smiles. Just not one who follows inconvenient rules. Victor pays better than the city. The trap snaps shut. Riley. Phoenix. Max. They're outside listening, but if Ford's dirty, who else is? How many police in that station belong to Kane? Did you bring it? Kane asks Julian. He holds up the USB drive. Everything you asked for. Kane takes it. Plugs it into a laptop. His fingers fly across the keyboard. Then he stops. Looks at me. Smiles. This is garbage. Elegant garbage, but garbage. He pulls the drive out. Did you really think I wouldn't verify before accepting it? I've been stealing from people like you for 15 years, Ava. I know every trick. My heart stops. Riley, he says casually. Phoenix. Max. They're outside, aren't they? Your little team. Ford's people are rounding them up right now. No. You see, the real source code isn't on a drive. Kane moves closer. It's in your head. Every brilliant developer has shortcuts. Personal backdoors only they know. And you're going to give me yours. I'll never. You will. He nods to Ford. Because Detective Ford is very good at making people cooperative. And because if you don't, I won't just kill your friends. I'll frame them for your murder. They'll die in prison believing you betrayed them. Julian's face drains of color. You said if we helped. You have helped. By bringing her here. Away from witnesses. From security. Kane looks at Laura. You too, darling. You played your part beautifully. The pregnant woman angle was inspired. Laura's hand drops from her stomach. I'm not actually. I know. The prosthetic belly is convincing though. She looks at Julian. Some silent communication. He lunges at Kane. Ford pulls a gun. The shot is impossibly loud. Julian crumples. Laura screams. I'm moving before I think, dropping to Julian's side. Blood blooms across his chest. His eyes find mine. I'm sorry, he chokes. I'm so sorry. Don't talk. Someone call. They're all on his payroll, Julian whispers. The police. The bank. Everyone. His hand finds mine. Squeezes once. Then goes limp. Laura is crying. Ugly, broken sobs. Ford keeps the gun trained on us. Anyone else want to be heroic? I look at Julian's body. At the man I married. Who betrayed me. Who maybe, at the end, tried to save me. The source code, Kane says patiently. Now. Or your friends die just as quickly. Through the window, I see movement. Max's van. Phoenix's rental. Both surrounded by police cars. They're trapped. Because of me. Because I thought I was smart enough to beat Kane at his own game. Okay, I say. My voice sounds hollow. I'll give you what you want. Kane smiles. And I realize this was always how it would end. With me giving up everything I built. To save the people I love. They drive me to a warehouse. Laura too, though she's silent now. Shock or grief or fear, I can't tell. Riley, Phoenix, and Max are already there. Zip-tied to chairs. Atlas barking frantically in a cage in the corner. Ava, Riley starts. I'm sorry, I cut them off. I'm so sorry. Kane sets up a laptop. You have 1 hour. Build me a backdoor into Datavale's network. Complete access. Or I start with the dog. Atlas whimpers. Max's face goes murderous. I sit at the keyboard and begin typing the code that will destroy everything I've built. Every keystroke feels like betrayal. Of my parents. Of myself. Of the 7 years I spent building Datavale into something that mattered. But I keep typing. Because the alternative is watching my friends die. 30 minutes in, my phone buzzes. Text from an unknown number. I glance at Kane. He's watching Laura, not me. I risk opening it. It's a photo. Of Julian. In a hospital bed. Alive. The message below, he's wearing a vest. We have 5 minutes. Trust me. Detective Ford, the real one. My hands freeze on the keyboard. Ford shot Julian where she knew the vest would catch it. She's not dirty. She's undercover. And she just gave me the one thing Kane didn't plan for. Hope. I keep typing. But now, I'm writing something different. Something Kane won't recognize until it's too late. 4 minutes left. Atlas has stopped barking. Max is watching me with absolute trust. Phoenix's eyes are calculating angles. Escape routes. Riley's fingers are twitching. Trying to access something without Kane noticing. And I'm writing the most important code of my life. Not for Kane. For them. 3 minutes. 2. 1. Done, I say. Kane leans over. Scans the screen. Smiles. You're smarter than I thought. This is beautiful. He presses enter. The warehouse lights cut out. Emergency lights flicker on, red and disorienting. And every door explodes inward at once. FBI. Real police. SWAT. Kane reaches for Ford's gun. But she's faster. Drops him with a single shot to the shoulder. FBI, she shouts. Victor Kane, you're under arrest for fraud, conspiracy, attempted murder. The rest drowns in chaos. Someone cuts our restraints. Releases Atlas. The dog barrels into me so hard I fall. Max is laughing. Or crying. Maybe both. Phoenix just says, I knew you had a plan. But I didn't. I just got lucky. Julian's alive in a hospital somewhere. Laura's being led away in cuffs, but she's looking back at me with something like gratitude. And Kane. Kane is on the ground, bleeding, finally caught. But as they pull him past me, he leans close. Whispers. I have 6 partners you'll never find. This doesn't end with me. Then he's gone. And I'm standing in a warehouse full of federal agents, my friends, and the ruins of the last 3 years of my life. Is it over? Riley asks. I watch them load Kane into an ambulance. Think about his words. About 6 other people out there running the same scheme. No, I say. It's not over. The FBI field office smells like institutional carpet and terrible decisions. I'm sitting across from the real Detective Ford, Special Agent Sarah Ford, who looks nothing like the woman who shot Julian. Different haircut. Different energy. She slides a folder across the table. Victor Kane's operation is bigger than we thought. What you experienced. We've documented 43 similar cases in the last 5 years. Only 7 victims ever came forward. The rest either didn't survive or were too discredited to be believed. I open the folder. Faces. Names. Stories. A venture capitalist in Boston who went crazy and was institutionalized while his accounts were drained. A film producer in LA who committed suicide days before discovering her doppelganger. A neurosurgeon in Chicago who lost everything and now lives in a shelter, still insisting she's the real person. They're all still alive. I ask. Most of them. Ford's face hardens. Kane's partner, the fake detective, her real name is Monica Reeves. She's been impersonating law enforcement for 6 years. She's the one who makes sure victims never get believed. Files false psychiatric reports. Manufactures evidence of mental instability. Where is she now? Gone. She wasn't in the warehouse. Neither were the other 5 partners Kane mentioned. Riley leans forward from beside me. They insisted on being in this meeting. So did Phoenix, and Max Atlas is technically not allowed in federal buildings, But no one's brave enough to tell Max that. So Kane goes to prison, but the network survives, Riley says. Unless we can identify his partners and prove the conspiracy. Ford opens another file. Which is where you come in, Ava. We need your help. To do what? What you do best. Find the vulnerabilities in the system. She slides over a laptop. Kane's encrypted files. 300,000 documents. Communications. Financial records. Instructions to his partners. Everything we need is in here, but it's protected by military-grade encryption. I look at the screen. At the locked files mocking me. You want me to break it? Data veils your company. You understand security architecture better than anyone. Ford's eyes are intense. But more than that, you understand what it feels like to have your identity stolen. To be erased. You'll recognize patterns we'd miss. Phoenix crosses her arms. And what does Ava get in return? Full immunity. Protection. Her identity legally restored. And every victim on Kane's list gets the same. Plus Kane's assets, Max adds. Seized and distributed to his victims. Ford nods. That too. I think about Julian. He's alive, Ford confirms this, but facing 20 years for conspiracy and fraud. Laura's cooperating with the FBI in exchange for a reduced sentence. She was a victim first, they tell me. Abducted from NYU 3 years ago. Molded into whatever Kane needed. I should hate her. But mostly I just feel tired. How long do I have? I ask. The partners know Kane's been arrested. They're burning evidence, moving money, erasing tracks. We have maybe 72 hours before they disappear completely. 3 days. To crack Kane's files, identify 6 professional identity thieves, and dismantle an operation that's been running for over a decade. I'll need my team, I say. Ford looks at Riley, Phoenix, Max, and Atlas. They stay with you. Round the clock. Whatever you need. And I'll need to see Julian. Everyone goes quiet. Why? Ford asks carefully. Because he was part of this for 4 years. He knows things. Details about Kane's partners. About how the operation works. I close the laptop. And because he owes me the truth. My mother died in 2016. Car accident on Highway 101. Identified the body. Organized the funeral. Scattered her ashes off the coast. Unless I didn't. Unless the body wasn't really hers. I need to go, I say. Julian calls after me, but I'm already running. Back at the FBI office, I slam the laptop open. Pull up Kane's files. Riley, I snap. I need everything you can find on Diana Cruz. Cross-reference with my mother's name, Karen Cruz. What's going on? Ford asks. Julian said Kane's partner, the one who designed this whole operation, is named Diana Cruz. My hands shake on the keyboard. My mother's name was Karen Cruz. What if she had a sister? What if? Riley's fingers fly. Wait. Okay. Karen Cruz did have a sister. Diana. 4 years older. But according to records, Diana died in 2001. Car accident in San Francisco. Another car accident, Phoenix says quietly. That's convenient. Pull up photos, I say. Riley does. And there she is. My Aunt Diana. Standing next to my mother in a photo from 1995. They could be twins. Same cheekbones. Same eyes. Same face I see in the mirror. Oh my God, Ford breathes. Kane's type. All the victims. We thought he was targeting people randomly, but he's targeting people who look like Diana Cruz, I finish. Because she's finding women who resemble her. Training them to become her. Why? Max asks. I pull up another file from Kane's encrypted documents. One that's been partially decoded. It's an old police report from 2001. Diana Cruz. Wanted for fraud, identity theft, and embezzlement. Last seen in San Francisco. Presumed dead after a car accident. But no body was ever recovered. She faked her death, I say. My aunt faked her death and built an empire stealing identities. Using women who look like her because she's been stealing her own identity over and over, Riley finishes. Using different women to be Diana Cruz in different cities. Different lives. Ford swears. That's why we could never track the network. The architect doesn't exist. She's a rotating position filled by women who look similar enough to pass. And my mother? I look at the photo. At Karen Cruz's kind smile. Riley pulls up the accident report from 2016. Then another file. A life insurance policy my mother took out 3 months before she died. Beneficiary me. But the policy was purchased through a broker named Diana Cruz. She knew, I whisper. My mother knew Diana was alive. And she was helping her. Or Diana killed her to keep the secret safe. I'll never know which. Phoenix's hand finds my shoulder. We'll find her. How? She could be anyone. Any of the imposters could actually be her. Ford pulls up the FBI files. Photos of women arrested in connection with Kane's operation over the years. 7 women. All with similar features. All claimed to be someone else. All look like Diana Cruz. All look like me. Laura, I say suddenly. She was one of the imposters. She might know how to identify Diana. She's in protective custody, Ford says. But we can arrange a meeting. Laura looks different without the makeup. Younger. Scared. We sit across from each other in a gray room with a guard outside. You want to know about the architect, she says before I can speak. Yes. I only saw her twice. Once when Victor recruited me. Once when she came to verify I was ready. Laura wraps her arms around herself. She was terrifying. Not because she was cruel. Because she was kind. She told me I was perfect. That I had good bone structure. A malleable face. She touched my cheek like a mother would. What did she look like? Like you. Like me. Like all of us. Laura's eyes fill. But there was this coldness underneath. Like she'd hollowed herself out so many times she'd forgotten who she was originally. Any distinguishing marks? Scars? Anything? Laura thinks. Her hands. She had beautiful hands. Delicate. But there was a scar on her left palm. Small. Shaped like a crescent moon. My breath catches. My mother had that scar. Cut herself on broken glass when I was 6. I watched her wrap it in gauze, watched it heal into a permanent reminder. She told me it looked like the moon. Did she ever mention family? I ask. Once. She said family was the first identity we steal. That mothers teach daughters how to lie before they teach them anything true. I stand. Thank you. Ava. Laura's voice stops me. I'm sorry. For all of it. I know that doesn't fix anything, but... You were a victim too, I say. But so was I. And the difference is you chose to help them victimize others. I know. Tears fall. I know. Back with my team, I pull up the partially decoded files from Kane's laptop. The architect has been planning something big, Ford says. Kane's notes mention Phase 3. Whatever that is, it launches in 2 weeks. Simultaneous hits, Riley guesses. Multiple victims at once. Or something worse, Phoenix says. I scroll through the financial records. Money moving through shell corporations. Payments to offshore accounts. And then I see it. A name I recognize. Betrayal. They were going to use my company, I breathe. The source code Kane wanted, it wasn't just for stealing money. It was for Phase 3. Ford leans closer. Explain. Betrayal protects healthcare financial systems. If someone had backdoor access, they could manipulate patient records, insurance claims, billing data for thousands of hospitals. My mind races. They could create false identities in medical systems. Steal existing ones. Replace people in databases so thoroughly they'd cease to exist legally. They'd scale the operation, Riley says. Instead of replacing one person at a time, they'd replace thousands. Simultaneously. And no one would be able to prove who they really were because their medical records, their biometric data, everything would say they're someone else. That's genocide of identity, Phoenix whispers. Ford's phone rings. She answers, listens, her face going white. We just got a hit on Monica Reeves' location, she says. She's in San Francisco, at the address where Diana Cruz supposedly died in 2001. I grab my jacket. Then that's where we go. Ava, you're not law enforcement. She's my aunt. This is my mother's legacy. I'm going. Ford looks at me for a long moment, then nods. Suit up. We leave in 10. The house is in Pacific Heights. Victorian. Beautiful. Worth millions. FBI teams surround it. I'm in the van with Riley, Phoenix, and Max watching the feeds. Ford's team breaches the door. The house is empty. Except for one room. They find it upstairs. A office. Walls covered in photos. Photos of women. Dozens of them. All with similar features. All labeled with names, dates, locations. And in the center, one photo larger than the rest. My mother. Karen Cruz. With a red X through her face. Below it, a note in elegant handwriting. Some identities are too dangerous to let live. Sorry, sister. Love, Diana. My mother didn't die in an accident. Diana killed her. Because Karen knew too much. Or tried to stop her. Or threatened to expose the operation. I'll never know which. But I know this. My aunt built an empire on stolen lives. Used me as the blueprint for her imposters. Murdered my mother to protect her secret. And now, she's planning something that will destroy thousands more. We'll find her, Ford says quietly. I look at my mother's picture. At the X that erased her. No, I say. I'll find her. Because she made one mistake. What? She taught her imposters to look like me. To act like me. To be me. I turn to Ford. Which means I can be her. Understanding dawns on her face. You want to bait her out. Make her think one of her imposters has gone rogue. I want to make her think I'm ready to join her. That I understand what she built. That I want in. I look at the photo wall. At all the stolen lives. Diana Cruz doesn't know I know she exists. She thinks she's a ghost story. So you become a ghost too, Phoenix says. Exactly. Riley pulls up a laptop. I can create a digital trail. Make it look like you've been researching the operation. Asking questions in the right forums. Getting close. And I can teach you how to fight like someone who's been doing this for years, Phoenix adds. Make you dangerous. Max just nods. Atlas and I are in. Ford looks at us. At this makeshift team built from betrayal and friendship. This is insane, she says. It's the only way, I counter. If Diana suspects. She won't. Because I'm not going to act like a victim. I'm going to act like someone who learned from the best. I turn back to my mother's photo. To the ex that tried to erase her. Diana Cruz destroyed my family. Stole my identity. Nearly killed everyone I love. I pull out my phone. Start composing a message that will ripple through the dark web. Through encrypted forums. Through channels only people in Diana's world would monitor. A message from someone claiming to be one of Kane's former imposters. Someone ready to work directly with the architect. Someone who looks exactly like Diana Cruz. Because I do. I hit send. And wait for my aunt to come find me. Phase 3 starts in 2 weeks, Ford reminds me. Then we have 2 weeks, I say, to burn her empire to ash. Phoenix smiles. Dangerous. Proud. Now that, she says, is the Ava I remember. And for the first time since that phone call shattered my morning, I feel like myself again. Not the victim. Not the mark. The woman who built something from nothing. Who survived having everything stolen. And who's about to teach her aunt a lesson about underestimating family. My phone buzzes. A reply to the message I sent. Unknown number. Just 2 words. Prove it. I smile. Game on. The proof Diana wants is simple. Steal someone's identity. Completely. Within 48 hours. Riley sets it up. Creates a fake target, a composite of real people, fictional details, just plausible enough to pass Diana's verification. A tech consultant in Seattle. Moderate wealth. Perfect practice run. Except I'm not actually stealing anything. I'm building a performance. Evidence Diana can verify. Fake bank transfers Riley routes through shell accounts that lead nowhere. Doctored photos of me playing the part. Digital breadcrumbs that look like a perfect crime. It takes 36 hours. Ford paces the entire time, convinced this will blow our cover. But on hour 37, my phone rings. Unknown number. I answer. Hello, Ava. The voice is warm. Cultured. Familiar in a way that makes my skin crawl. Or should I call you something else? You've worn so many names. Diana. Aunt Diana, technically. Though family means so little these days, doesn't it? She pauses. You did well. The Seattle job. Clean. Efficient. You have your mother's talent. My mother's talent. Like identity theft is genetic. I want to meet you, I say. Of course you do. You want to see the woman who taught your mother everything she knew. Who Karen tried so hard to stop. Diana's voice hardens. She was weak. Sentimental. She wanted to turn me in. Protect you from the truth. What truth? That you were always mine. From the moment you were born with my sister's face, my face, I knew you'd be the perfect successor. The best one yet. She laughs softly. Karen tried to hide you. Moved across the country. Changed your last name back to her maiden name. But family always finds family. The pieces click into place. My father left when I was 3. My mother said he couldn't handle the pressure of parenthood. But what if he discovered what Karen's sister really was? What if he ran to protect me? Where do we meet? I ask. Where it started. The house in Pacific Heights. Tomorrow. Midnight. Diana pauses. Come alone, Ava. Or I'll know you're not serious. And I'll disappear again. Forever. She hangs up. Ford immediately starts coordinating. We'll have snipers on every roof. Surveillance in every window. The moment she arrives. No, I say. She'll scan for that. She's been evading you for 20 years. She knows every trick. So what do you suggest? I look at Riley. Can you get a tracker small enough to hide in clothing? Something Diana's equipment won't detect. I can get you something experimental. FBI's been testing it. Subcutaneous. Goes under your skin. My stomach turns. But I nod. And I'll need to go in wearing exactly what she expects. Someone ready to join her operation. Someone who's let go of being Ava Harlow. Phoenix stands. Then we train. You have 20 hours to become someone who's already stolen everything that matters. 20 hours later, I barely recognize myself. Hair darker. Contacts that change my eye color slightly. Clothes that mirror what Laura wore. Expensive but impersonal. The tracker is under the skin of my wrist, invisible. Atlas whines when he sees me. Doesn't recognize me at first. It's still me, I tell him, kneeling. He licks my face. Unconvinced but accepting. Max grips my shoulder. You don't have to do this. Yeah, I do. Riley hands me an earpiece. Keep this in. We'll be listening. Not close enough for Diana to detect, but close enough to hear if things go wrong. And if they do? I ask. Phoenix smiles. Dangerous. Then I'm coming through whatever walls I have to. With prejudice. Ford reviews the plan one last time. You get Diana talking. Get her to confess. Get her to reveal where Phase 3 is launching and how to stop it. Then we move in. And if she doesn't talk? Then you improvise. Like you've been doing since this started. The house in Pacific Heights is dark except for one window on the second floor. I approach the front door alone. It opens before I knock. A woman stands in the entrance. Mid-50s. Elegant. She has my face but aged with grace I haven't earned yet. The same cheekbones. The same eyes. Diana Cruz. My aunt. My mother's killer. Ava, she says warmly. You look so much like Karen at your age. It's uncanny. That's the point, isn't it? I step inside. Why you chose me. Not chose. Recognized. She leads me upstairs to the office I saw on the FBI feeds. Except now it's occupied. You were always going to end up here. With me. It's in your blood. The office walls are still covered in photos. But now I see the pattern. All the women. All the stolen lives. They're organized by year. By location. By version of Diana Cruz. I've been 23 different people, she says, following my gaze. Each one a masterpiece. Each one a work of art. And do you know what I learned? What? That identity is fiction. A story we tell ourselves. The moment you realize that, the moment you understand you can be anyone, you become free. She turns to me. Your mother never understood. She thought identity was sacred. Something to protect. So you killed her. Diana doesn't flinch. I liberated her. From the burden of knowing what I'd become. From the fear of watching me transform you into something better than she ever was. Rage burns in my chest. But I keep my voice steady. Tell me about Phase 3. She smiles. Pleased. Ah. You've been paying attention. Phase 3 is my legacy. The culmination of 20 years of work. She opens a laptop. Shows me a map. 50 cities. Hundreds of targets. In 6 days, we replace key individuals across North America. Hospital administrators. Bank executives. Government officials. Not for money. For infrastructure. Her eyes gleam. Imagine having people in every system. Every database. Every institution. We don't just steal identities anymore. We control them. We decide who exists and who doesn't. That's not freedom, I say. That's genocide. That's evolution. The natural endpoint of a world that already treats identity as currency. She closes the laptop. And you're going to help me execute it. Why would I do that? Because deep down, you know I'm right. You built a company protecting identities, and look where it got you. Stolen from. Betrayed. Erased. She steps closer. Join me, and you'll never be vulnerable again. You'll be everyone and no one. Untouchable. I look at the photos on the wall. At my mother's face with the red X. At all the women Diana destroyed. There's just one problem, I say. What's that? I'm not my mother. I don't have her mercy. I pull out my phone. Show her the recording app that's been running since I walked in. Every word. Every confession. Diana's face doesn't change. You think that matters? Who will believe you? You're Claire Novak, remember? A fraud. A con artist. Not anymore. I show her the second screen. The FBI restored my identity an hour ago. Full documentation. Every database corrected. I'm legally Ava Harlow again. Her smile falters. And as for who'll believe me? I tap the earpiece. Say hi to Special Agent Ford. Diana moves fast. Gun from the desk drawer. Aimed at me before I can react. You stupid girl, she hisses. Did you really think I wouldn't prepare for this? Actually, I say, I counted on it. The window behind her explodes. Phoenix comes through like a missile. Tackles Diana. The gun skitters across the floor. I dive for it. Diana's faster. Her hand closes around the grip. But Atlas is faster. He comes through the door. Max must have let him in, and his jaws lock onto Diana's wrist. Not enough to break it. Just enough to make her drop the weapon. I grab it. Point it at my aunt. FBI agents flood the house. Ford first. Gun drawn. Professional. Diana Cruz, you're under arrest. Diana laughs. Even now. Even caught. You can't stop Phase 3. It's already in motion. My people don't need me to execute it. Your people, Ford says, pulling out handcuffs, have been in FBI custody for the last 12 hours. All 6 of them. We've been tracking them since Kane's arrest. Diana's face goes white. You see, I say, while I was becoming someone ready to join you, Riley was mapping your entire network. Every partner. Every account. Every safe house. I kneel down to her level. You taught your people to be ghosts. But ghosts leave digital footprints. And I'm very good at tracking them. Ford hauls Diana to her feet. Reads her rights. But Diana's looking at me. Really looking. Your mother would hate what you've become, she says. Using my methods to destroy me. No, I reply. My mother would hate what you became. I'm just someone who learned that sometimes you have to become what you hate to stop it from spreading. They take her away. And I stand in that office, surrounded by stolen faces, and finally exhale. 2 weeks later. The FBI holds a press conference. Announces the dismantling of the largest identity theft ring in North American history. 43 victims identified. Compensated. Restored. Julian gets 15 years. Reduced from 20 for cooperation. Laura gets 5. Suspended after 2 for testimony. Monica Reeves and the other partners get sentences ranging from 10 to 25 years. Diana Cruz gets life. No parole. Phase 3 never launches. The victims, all 43 of them, get their lives back. Their names. Their accounts. Their identities. Ford calls it the biggest win of her career. I call it closing a wound I didn't know my family had inflicted. I'm standing in my kit Ford again. The real one. The house is mine now, legally, officially, unquestionably mine. Julian signed the deed over as part of his plea deal. Riley's at the table, laptop open, helping me rebuild Datavale security protocols. Phoenix is doing yoga in the living room, Atlas asleep on the mat beside her. Max is cooking something that smells incredible. So, Riley says, not looking up from the screen, what happens now? I think about that. About the company I built. The identity I reclaimed. The family history I can't change but can choose not to repeat. Now. I pour coffee into 2 cups. The same ones from that morning when everything shattered. Now I figure out who Ava Harlow actually is. Without Julian. Without the fear. Without someone trying to steal what I've built. And Phoenix calls from the living room. What's the verdict? I smile. I'm someone who survived having my entire life stolen. Someone who has really good friends. Someone whose dog has excellent taste in people. Atlas wags his tail in his sleep. And someone, I add, who's never ever using a joint bank account again. They laugh. My phone buzzes. Email from Ford. One of Diana's victims wants to meet you. Says you helped save her life. Her name is Claire Novak. Thought you'd want to know, she's alive. Thriving, actually. Working as an art teacher in Portland. Here's her number if you want to connect. I stare at the message. Claire Novak. The woman whose corrupted identity was used to discredit me. The first victim who fought back. She's alive. I save the number. Text her, hi. I'm Ava. I think we have some things in common. Coffee sometime. 3 dots appear immediately. Then, I'd like that. And thank you. For finishing what I started. So here's my question for you. Have you ever had to become something you weren't to protect something you were? Have you ever had to lose everything to figure out what actually matters? Drop your thoughts in the comments. And if this story meant something to you, if you stayed through all the twists and turns, hit that subscribe button. Because I'm still here. Still building. Still figuring out who Ava Harlow really is. But this time, I'm doing it on my own terms. 6 months after Diana's arrest, I'm standing at a cemetery in Los Angeles. My mother's grave. The real one. We had her exhumed, verified, reburied with the dignity she deserved. I bring flowers. Roses. Her favorite. I met your sister, I say to the headstone. She told me you were weak. That you tried to stop her. The wind picks up. Carries the scent of roses. She was wrong. You weren't weak. You were brave. You protected me the only way you knew how. By hiding me. by keeping me out of her world. I kneel. Touch the cold marble. I wish you'd told me. I wish I'd known. My voice cracks. But I understand why you didn't. You wanted me to have a normal life. To build something real. To be someone who didn't have to look over her shoulder. A tear falls. Then another. I'm okay now. I have people who love me. A company I'm rebuilding. A life that's actually mine. I press my palm flat against the stone. And I have your strength. Your courage. Your refusal to let Diana win. I stand. Wipe my eyes. Thank you for protecting me. Even from the grave. Even when I didn't know I needed it. I turn to leave. And there, standing by the cemetery gate, is a woman I don't expect. Laura. She's out on probation. Looks different. Softer. Her hand rests on her stomach, actually pregnant this time. Real. I'm sorry, she says when I reach her. I didn't know if you'd want to see me. But I needed to say something. I wait. The baby. It's a girl. And I'm raising her alone. Julian's in prison, and honestly, I don't want him in her life anyway. She swallows. But I wanted you to know, I'm teaching her the truth. About what I did. Who I hurt. So she never makes my mistakes. That's good, I say. And I wanted to ask, Laura hesitates. When she's old enough to understand, would you meet her? Tell her your side? I don't want her to only hear my version. I want her to know the damage we caused. I study this woman who stole my face. My life. Who was both victim and villain. Yeah, I say finally. When she's ready. I'll tell her. Laura's eyes fill. Thank you. She leaves. And I stand there between my mother's grave and the future, and realize something. Identity isn't something that can be stolen. Not really. It's something built. Earned. Fought for. Diana tried to teach me that identity is fiction. But she was wrong. Identity is story. And I just spent 6 months learning that even when someone tries to erase your story, burn your chapters, replace your words with theirs, the truth survives. You survive. And you get to write the ending yourself. I'm back in my Kitford one last time. Coffee brewing. Morning light through the windows. My phone sits on the counter. Silent. No emergency calls. No identity theft. No betrayal. Just me. Ava Harlow. Founder of Betrayal Security. Survivor. Friend. Woman with really good dog. Atlas nudges my hand. Wants his breakfast. I smile. Yeah, buddy. I hear you. As I fill his bowl, I think about that phone call from the bank. The one that shattered everything. A woman identifying as Ava Harlow is here right now. With your husband. If I could go back to that moment, to the woman I was before the coffee spilled, before the world tilted, would I warn her? Tell her what's coming? No. Because that woman needed to break. Needed to lose everything. Needed to discover she was stronger than anyone who tried to steal from her. That woman built Betrayal. But this woman, the one standing in the Kitford with coffee and dog and friends who'd burned down buildings for her. This woman survived the theft of her entire life. And came out the other side knowing exactly who she is. Finally. Completely. Unquestionably. Me. I pick up my phone. Open a new note. Type, lessons learned. 1. Joint accounts are a scam. 2. Ants are overrated. 3. Golden retrievers are excellent judges of character. 4. You can't steal someone's identity if they know exactly who they are. I send it to Riley, Phoenix, and Max. Riley replies first, 5 friends who help you commit light treason are worth keeping. Phoenix, 6. Sometimes becoming a ghost means other ghosts can't touch you. Max, 7. Atlas says you owe him bacon. I laugh. Really laugh. For the first time in 6 months. And realize that this moment, this Kitford, this life I'm rebuilding one morning at a time. This is victory. Not Diana's arrest. Not the FBI press conference. Not even getting my accounts back. This. The ability to stand in my home, drink my coffee, laugh with my friends, and know that no one can take this from me. Because I'm not just Ava Harlow anymore. I'm Ava Harlow who survived. Who fought back. Who learned that the best revenge isn't destroying your enemies. It's becoming so completely yourself that their theft becomes meaningless. Diana tried to steal my identity. Julian tried to steal my money. The imposter tried to steal my face. But none of them understood the most important thing. You can't steal what someone refuses to lose. And I refused. Every single day. I chose to be Ava Harlow. Not because it was on a driver's license or a bank account or a marriage certificate. But because it's who I built myself to be. And that they could never touch. I raise my coffee cup. To the empty Kit Ford. To my mother's memory. To the future I'm choosing. To identity, I say aloud. Not as fiction. As truth. Atlas Sparks. And I drink. The end. If this story resonated with you, if you felt Ava's journey, if you stayed through every twist, thank you. Your time means everything. Subscribe if you haven't already. And remember, you are not what anyone tries to make you. You are what you choose to build. Every single day. Now go be whoever you're meant to be. Completely. Unapologetically. Yours.